I just wanted her to leave. That's all I wanted. I just wanted her to leave so that this whole thing would stop. I mean, I don't condone violence either, and I don't understand why these. So I've been protesting now for a few months, trying to help get power in numbers, right? The power in numbers of people that show up to this stuff, and I don't understand why people come to agitate. They can be there. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what you're saying. In fact, I've seen the other agitators like Jake Lang and a lot of these other people at these events, and I've never even confronted them because I don't care what they're doing. I don't care what they're saying.
Right.
It's fine for them to be there. I don't care. But you draw the line when you start attacking people's families. That's where the line's drawn. Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's, I mean, the last 4 days have been hell, honestly. I mean, we're getting attacked from all sides, our jobs, our livelihood, my daughter's college, our just every aspect of life. We're being attacked because they've doxed us online with all our information. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody, to be honest with you.
Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm just going to pause this video here for a second just to address the comments made by this father. But I find it rich that this man is now claiming that he does not condone any violence when we literally have video evidence of him shoving a female reporter onto the ground. Yeah, tpusa reporter Savanah Hernandez was shoved to the ground by a man twice her size. And all she was doing was her job. She was filming herself, had her back turned the other way, and was just reporting on the incident protest. And these protesters took it upon themselves to approach her, waving dildos and blowing air horns and whistles directly in her ear. And then this guy also had the audacity to claim that people on the right are agitators. Has he not seen what's gone on in the last 3-4 months, where you literally have these lunatics on the left approaching ordinary citizens and, harassing them, asking them if they're ICE agents? Or what about all the incessant honking and blowing the whistles, air horns at federal officers who are just trying to do their job? This is peak level projection coming from the father, and then listen to him along with his wife talking about how they're the victims in all this. And then later on, you can actually hear them both cry as they lost their jobs. But at the very end of this video, this father actually gets exposed after he was allegedly charged with committing fraud on taxpayers' money.
So I had talked to her in regards to, she was bringing up some stuff about people being raped in detention centers. And that really, hit a soft spot with me, because my views on that are so different in terms of just humanity and people alone, and how wrong and unethical was that. And she was okay with that. She didn't care that people were getting raped in detention centers. And so with that, I think one thing kind of, everybody around us was kind of whistling. And then Paige had gone up and was whistling, as people have
Paige
seen.
Is your daughter, just so everybody knows.
Yes,
Paige is your daughter.
yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yep. So Paige was up, like everybody has seen in the video, was whistling. And the whistle that she was using was a 50 decibel whistle. So nothing that could damage and hurt.
Okay.
Could damage or hurt anybody's eardrum, a really small whistle.
Yep.
So obviously with that, Savanah didn't like that. And that was when the first assault happened. She backhanded her in the face. And then Paige said, "Don't touch me."
And this all happened. This is important because you're saying this all happened before your husband had pushed her. Is that what
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Yes. So go ahead. So I'll continue. So after that happened, she started to move out of that area, and people were whistling and blowing horns and all of that. And then Paige was moving out with her, and then she had punched Paige again. So that was the second assault. And Paige had pushed her and then got back up and to defend herself. And then I yelled at Paige and I said, "Paige, get back here." And she's like, "Mom, she punched me." And that's when I said, "Don't effing touch my daughter." And then that's when she actually grabbed me by the throat. And then when Chris...
I just want to be clear. You sent me video and snapshots of that, so I can confirm that that did happen.
Yes. So that's when she grabbed me by the throat. And then from that forward on, as a family and my husband kind of defending and protecting his family, that's when he had pushed Savanah. And as a protection for us, he was seeing our daughter get assaulted. He saw me get assaulted. And for myself, I was just trying to defend my daughter and stop, like, hey, Paige, stop it. Hey, don't touch my daughter. And the next thing you know, Chris pushed Savanah. And then after he pushed her, then Savanah got up and just started swinging again. And then that's when the next moments happened where she got tackled.
Okay, so there's quite a bit to unpack here. And now the family's trying to play victim, they're playing offense, and that's why I purposely added the video to go along with the audio. By the way, guys, these videos do take some time to make, so if you want to support this channel, please do leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Or if you want to further support this channel, you can join and become a channel member. But going back to the audio and the video, I purposely use longer videos and not short clips because those can be misleading. And, you know, what the mother was saying, you can tell by watching the video, how she told the story was very inaccurate. She did not mention that she was waving a dildo in front of Savanah's face. Why is that? And then moments later, you saw the daughter blowing a whistle in front of Savanah. And then as she was doing that, Savanah put her hand to create some distance between herself and the daughter. And then even walked away because she knew the situation was escalating. And as Savanah was walking away, you saw the daughter blowing a whistle directly into her ear and continue to follow Savanah. And then you had a couple other people right in front of Savanah as she was walking. They were waving a dildo. Another person was blowing an air horn. And that's when Savanah had enough. And then she kind of shoved the daughter to the side. And the daughter overreacted by, shoving or punching Savanah. And then they got into a back and forth. And, the daughter ended up shoving Savanah to the ground. And then Savanah got up and walked away. And then you could see the mother approaching Savanah aggressively. And that's when Savanah, she put her hand on the mother to push her back. But the mother tried to claim that she was being strangled. And then moments later, Savanah got shoved to the ground by the father. Savanah was simply defending herself from a group of deranged lunatics. Mind you, this is a woman who's out there by herself with no security. Now for the best part of this video that you guys probably been waiting for is the accountability part, because both mother and father have been fired from their jobs.
What has happened to you guys? You guys have lost your jobs, right? Can you kind of go through with me that aspect of this?
Yeah, so the next day after everything had happened, my husband had gone to work and basically was said, you can't work here anymore. You're a woman abuser.
Wow.
And then the next thing, it was just kind of a trickle down effect. And I had actually notified my company and just gave them a heads up with what was happening, that we were being doxxed. And then shortly after, because, obviously with the doxing, they were going at every angle possible to come after us. So they were like, all of these crazy pictures of us out there, right? Making us look like we're crazy. And then just emailing our bosses and putting it on social media. Well, would you do this? Would you keep this person as an employee? When honestly, to tell you the truth, I wasn't violent at all. I was trying to protect my daughter at the same time, trying to de-escalate the situation. And then when I was assaulted, that's when my husband's like, that's it, that's enough. Don't F my family.
So Trisha, I want to ask you about that. Is it a fair characterization then in your eyes to say that Savanah is the one that made physical contact first, or committed a crime, or touched somebody or assaulted somebody first, based on what you've seen? It is.
Based on what I've seen, she went and hit Paige in the face when Paige was blowing a whistle. And maybe someone else has a different, I wasn't there. I just saw videos posted, but that, from what I could see, Paige was blowing a whistle, which she has every right to do. And Savanah was the one that hit her.
I want to be clear, because I asked you this question privately, and I think it's important publicly. You've never been arrested for a crime in your life. Is that correct?
That's absolutely correct. I've never been arrested for anything. No.
Your wife?
Simple traffic violations, but that's
right.
it.
Well, I have those too. So that doesn't mean we're so you and your wife and your daughter, can you say it's categorically false if anybody says that you guys are violent people?
We are absolutely not violent people. In fact, we tend to shy away from it. In fact, Jolly Ginger, who's a known protester out there.
Yep.
He was on the front lines with me, and he made fun of me the last time he was up here because he said, Chris, until you're up there in front yelling at the cops with the intent to possibly get arrested, you're not really a protester. So he was joking with me because he knows I'm always the guy in the back. I tend to stay away from anything. In fact, that day, you'll see, I was not even up in the front at all during this whole event. I just stayed back and kind of watched what was going on and tried to hear, which was really hard to hear stuff because of the whistles and all the noise.
Okay, so Chris is really trying to do some damage control. He's trying to project to the public that he's just a regular dad, clean background, just a soccer dad, but that's really not the case. Because take a look at his background here. And now I'm going to read a little blurb here on the right. It reads, soccer dad, anti-ICE protester Chris Ostroushko, who assaulted Savanah Hernandez out at the Whipple over the weekend, was convicted of defrauding the state unemployment program of nearly $7,000 in the early 2000s. He received a stay of execution on the sentence. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? It appears that the fraud in Minnesota, dates back to the early 2000s, and maybe we should get Nick Shirley to go check on that. But that said, Chris also said during the interview that, during these protests, he usually lays back in the back, doesn't really get out front and center. But take a look at this video we found of an alternate angle showing, how he instructed his daughter to go attack Savanah by blowing a whistle directly into her ear. Like, imagine that, a father instructing his very own daughter to go out, assault, and harass somebody. Like, it's no wonder this guy got fired. And I'm curious what his employers thought, his coworkers thought, when they saw all these videos that circulated on social media. Like, if I actually saw one of my coworkers doing stuff like this, I would have been like so disgusted. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please, again, do leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Or if you want to further support this channel, you can join and become a channel member.